Joe and I am to LoveThatFace.com, and today we're going to test drive the ELLMAN CORTEX CO2 fractional and erbium laser. We're going to use this laser for several projects. We're going to do 2 cases of erbium resurfacing for brown spots, one on a sedated patient, one on an awake patient. We're going to do 2 cases of fractional CO2 laser, again, one on an awake patient, one on a sedated patient. And then we're going to use the incisional handpiece for upper and lower blepharoplasty. This is a really versatile machine. It has the computer generator to do fractional laser resurfacing, and it has a lot of different settings that allows you to adjust for anywhere from a 2-day recovery to probably a 1-week recovery. So for the fractional full face laser resurfacing, that's the handpiece we use. This is the erbium handpiece, and this is the 2940 nanometer laser. We use this for brown spots. I just do facial surgery, but you can use this for brown spots anywhere on the body, or to smooth down lesions or some minor mole removal, and you can even use it for resurfacing. And then also the incisional laser, and this is what we use for blepharoplasty, mole removal, different type of ablations. We're going to be talking about the erbium, or the 2940 nanometer laser, which is part of the ELLMAN CORTEX sandstone platform. And this is really nice for brown spots or selected resurfacing applications. We're getting ready to do a facelift and some other cosmetic surgery, but she has some brown spots, and we're going to treat them with the ELLMAN laser. This is the erbium, and I have this at 800 millijoules, and it is a situation basically where you can do this awake. This is really a painless situation. I'm going to show you on my own hand, so there's really no pain with it. And that's what's nice about the erbium laser. You can expeditiously treat brown spots. We have a couple over here. Probably do 2 passes with this. You can really do 3 to 5 passes on the average person, but you always want to be conservative. We've done some Botox in the crow's feet, and we're getting ready to do some fillers in the cheek, and she's got these large lentigos or brown spots here, so we're going to use the erbium for this. So I'm doing 2 passes at 800 millijoules at pulse rate of 4. Dr. Joe and I am here, and we're talking about the ELLMAN CORTEX CO2 fractional laser with erbium, and this is our control panel. So over here are the choices of your various patterns. So for this procedure, we're going to use a square pattern. We're going to use the biggest pattern, which is 18 millimeters, and we're going to use a density of 80%. Since this is fractional, that means that it's not 100%. In other words, there's space between each little laser column. There's untreated tissue, which is the basis of fractional. Our pulse duration is 3 milliseconds, and the time between one pattern to the next pattern, if you keep the foot pedal depressed, is a ½ second. So we are in the scanner mode, and we're going to do some fractional facial resurfacing. So one of the nice things about an 18 millimeter spot size is it covers a lot of area here. And you want to make sure that the little waveguide posts are flat against the skin. You don't want them tipped. You want them to be perfectly flat. And you want to line up your squares so that there's no overlap and there's no underlap. So you can see that this, we'll turn that up a little bit, and you can actually see the square pattern. I'm turning it up on the laser, and each time you turn it up, it turns that off. So I think you can see the square pattern on my hand. And we'll go back here. So using this large pattern size really expedites time. Now this patient is sedated, but we frequently do this on awake patients as well. We have stainless steel corneal eye shields in this patient, which is extremely important. Anytime you do laser, you must protect the patient and the staff, and that includes the actual laser beam and the smoke plume. So you can see my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 treated patches. And it's very easy if you just line up your little red square. And I'm going to try and get a better, there we go, there's a better pattern for you. You can see that better. So all you have to do is lay that down so you don't overlap and you don't underlap. You want to cover all the area. And I'm tilting this a little bit so the camera can see it, but remember, you want to have this, you want to have it pretty much level and both pods touching the skin. So with this large spot size, it takes about 25 minutes, half hour to do a full face. And yesterday we did this on an awake patient. Today we're doing it on a sedated patient because we're also doing blepharoplasty and cheek implants on this patient. And it's very important that once you put the pedal down, you don't move the laser. Otherwise, instead of these nice straight boxes, you'll get a squiggly, uncontrolled line. So you can see that the whole purpose of fractional resurfacing, if you look really close, you can see that there's treated area and untreated area. You also always have to be careful of people's eyebrows and eyelashes. Some people will use the erbium laser to burn off the skin char, and I'm really not a big fan of burning off the skin char. I think it serves as a biological dressing, but we'll show you how that's done. And it also helps homogenize any areas that you may have missed, as the erbium is a pretty light laser. So I like it more for brown spots and lesions, but I'm just showing you the various applications. Basically, that's our whole face. We've not done around the eyes, and you get a little pinpoint bleeding here with fractional laser. Sometimes the patient's awake. Tina, how was that?
It was fine.
All right. She says it was fine. She's tougher than I am. But about what it was like?
It wasn't bad. The pain was tolerable. It was a little more tender over the lips and around the hairline, but it wasn't bad overall.
And we put some ice on there between passes. That helped a little bit?
Absolutely.
Very good. Now we're going to put some restorative ointment on this. We can use Vaseline. There are a lot of products you can use. This happens to be the Skin Medica post-laser kit. We use this a lot, and I like it. And this is the restorative ointment, and we'll put this on continuously. And she'll look swollen and puffy tomorrow, and this will kind of turn brown, and over the next 4 days or so it'll heal, and we will follow this photographically. So that is the full face fractional resurfacing with the ELLMAN Cortex laser. This is Dr. Joe, and I am toLoveThatFace.com. All right, so we're using the ELLMAN Sandstone Cortex laser here to make our upper bleph incision, and we're going to turn on, in a minute we're going to turn on a smoke evacuator so to suction the smoke plume, so you're not going to hear us talking here for a second. And you can see that it's a bloodless situation, which is great. And we want to get as much skin as we can, and although we do take some orbicularis oculi. So that's our skin excision, and now we'll make an incision in the orbicularis oculi muscle. And some of our muscle has come off with the skin. Our next layer down is the orbital septum. And we're going to pick off some of this muscle. I usually take off about a 4 millimeter square of orbicularis oculi muscle, or a 4 millimeter rectangle, I should say. Now at this point, we're going to look for our central fat pad. We'll do a little blunt dissection, and there's our fat pad on the central. We'll defocus the laser, which makes the spot size bigger and increases the coagulation power. And then if we're going to look for our medial or nasal fat pad. Now when you have bleeding like this, come on, you can defocus the laser and stop that bleeding. So we have like some little bleeding here, and we'll defocus the laser. Now we'll get in here and locate our medial fat pad. I'll defocus the laser to increase the spot size. And at this point then we're done with our blepharoplasty, and you can see there's virtually no bleeding there. And what we'll do is we'll wipe this off with a wet gauze, and the reason we do that is because when we use the ELLMAN radio wave or the laser, it makes a little char on the skin, and that'll make a dark line if you don't debride that char. So that's our upper laser assisted blepharoplasty with the ELLMAN Sandstone Cortex CO2 laser set at 8 watts with the straight handpiece. Okay, so we are going to make our incision through the conjunctiva and capsulopalpebral fascia. On the medial fat pad here first. You're doing fine, huh? Remembering that there's 3 fat pads in the lower. Go back here a little bit. and we're on 6 watts on the super pulse mode with 150 micron handpiece. This is our central fat pad. And we're approaching our lateral fat pad now. You're doing fine. Okay. So you can see that our incision has no char, there's no bleeding, and it approximates very nicely. So that's our lower transconjunctival blepharoplasty.